Hi, my name's Dick. Welcome to Thinking Simple. Say Thinking Simple for me.
Okay, I've been wanting for a while to do a series of just like basic recipes, right? Not the fancy, crazy stuff, but like tried and true. These are the things that you can pull out of your back pocket when you just need to get something on the table. Obviously, the clear choice for the first in this series is going to be, what are we making?
A chocolate cake!
Chocolate cake, because it is the most important thing to have in your arsenal. So this is my favorite tiny little chocolate cake recipe. It is simple and easy. It always turns out nice, and it's small. It's just enough for a couple of servings, or one if you're someone like me. So we are going to get started. I've got my sous chefs here, as always. Three-quarters of an ounce of semi-sweet chocolate chips. All right, that's about an ounce, so we're gonna call that good. It's just a tiny, tiny little cake. So a tablespoon and a half. One, and then we need a half. So we're just gonna go like this, and we're gonna eyeball a half because I don't have the right measuring spoon right now. All right, quarter cup of water. I will pour this on here and then I will help you. Riley, will you stir that for me gently? While you do that, I'm gonna measure out my yogurt. Could be sour cream, but we're gonna do yogurt.
Made by helping.
Great.
Teamwork make the dream work. Yeah.
All right, Jed, would you like to add the yogurt to it? This is gonna make it soft and moist. Mix.
Mom.
Next is a quarter teaspoon of vanilla. Be gentle with it, please.
Okay.
No. Keep that in there, please. Keep it in the bowl. Keep it in the bowl. Thank you.
I just taste it.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it? Now we're gonna set that aside and we're gonna get our dry ingredients mixed up. First, we need a quarter of a cup of flour.
Me. All the way full?
Mm-hmm. All right, dump it.
I'm making melting.
There are some days when the cakes that I make are very precise.
I'm making melting.
You are making mountains. Today is not one of those days. Hold our horses.
Hold my horses. Holding real horses. She just means waiting.
Quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Who's gonna dump it in?
Me.
So then what we're doing right now is we're splitting a recipe in half. And the recipe already calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. So
I can't move my
I'm gonna take a quarter of a quarter. Riley, dump that in. Thanks.
Got an egg for you.
1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Nope, only one egg. Okay, hold on. Oh, I only have one. Hold on. We're gonna put our dry ingredients into this because I wasn't thinking ahead. Okay, 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, do you know how to put that on?
Yes. I think I
There you go. Then you push it in and you turn it. There we go.
Now
2 tablespoons. Nope, first we need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
brown. Yum.
2. Let's turn that on. You'll add the egg in just a minute. We want the butter and sugar to be light and creamy.
You again.
You are baking with me again. Nice job. Is it good? No shells?
Nope.
Hop down. We're gonna scrape. We're gonna scrape the sides. We are gonna do that in 2 parts. We're gonna add half of the flour and then half the chocolate, and then the other half of the flour and the other half of the chocolate. Riley, can you go put those eggshells in the trash can for me, sweetheart? Scoop in half the flour there.
Half of it like that?
Yep. in half the chocolate.
Oh, that's gonna look good. Now I just dump the flour.
After Riley does the flour, yes. Okay, now that.
All of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yum, bacon.
Yep, we're gonna take that off and we're just gonna give it,
Thank you.
no, not yet.
Right.
We're gonna give it one more.
Roll some up.
You wanna roll some up?
Sure.
We don't have to roll up cake batter. Okay, quick break for me to get dinner in the oven, and then the cake will go in while we're eating dinner. Okay, these are my little 3-inch, you do want to take it off? 3-inch springform pans, and I love them. When I'm not using a springform pan, Riley, for a cake, I usually do put parchment paper in the bottom. Because I'm using the springform pans, I don't worry about the parchment paper. I'm just gonna grease and flour them. Can you help me grease those?
Yeah, I do. 1, 2, 3. That's too sticky.
It's too sticky?
Yeah.
Okay. Give it a shake.
And dump it in?
It's gonna go, we're gonna dump it back into the big box, Riley. Make sure we get it all around, all the edges. And then we're just gonna tap out the extra.
I know how to fix my road because it just keeps...
Okay. Okay, now we're just going to divide the batter between the 2 pans. And again, there are days when I would be very precise with this.
It is a whistle.
It's not a whistle. But you don't really have to be. So I'm putting these cakes in the oven and I'm going to tell YouTube about it. So. Okay, these are going in the oven for 20 minutes at 350. All right, we are going to let these cool for about 10 minutes before we pop them out of the springform pans. And I won't be able to decorate them tonight, so I will, after they're fully cooled out of the pans and everything, I'll wrap them in plastic wrap and then tin foil and pop them in the freezer so they don't dry out overnight. After all that I said about this recipe always turning out, they're a little flat. They didn't rise super great, but that's okay. They'll eat. Okay, while editing this video, I realized a couple things. One is that I only put in half the sugar, so if you're gonna do this, maybe read the recipe and not listen to what I said, because it's wrong. And secondly, in the second part where I'm frosting this cake, I had a friend who's just starting in photography come over and do like a practice photo shoot the next day while I was frosting this cake. And so my dog really wants in. In a couple shots, you can see her in the background, and in like all of them, you hear shutter clicking. And it's really not normal. I'm like wearing makeup and there's like paparazzi. So that's just a quick explanation of why that happened. And I'll think that through a little better next time. All right, so I'm going to unwrap them. They're really ugly. But that is the beauty of frosting. We're gonna do a little bit right in the middle of the cake board to keep it in one place. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of frosting around the outsides to hold in my filling. Super fancy raspberry jam from Costco. Just throw a dollop in the middle. So the top layer I'm gonna put on upside down so that it has a chance of being slightly more level, but it's still pretty frozen because I didn't think my life through this morning. But that's okay. So now we are going to do a crumb coat, which is probably not super necessary just because the cake is frozen, but for the sake of good technique, that's what we're gonna do. The crumb coat is that first layer of frosting that you put on to stick to any crumbs that are on the cake and give you a nice base layer so that your final layer of frosting will be smooth. It'll pick up any little bits of filling that might leak out, crumbs that are going on, that sort of thing. This frosting is not my favorite either. It's just a classic American buttercream. So it is thick and chunky and not super smooth like the Italian meringue, which is what I much prefer. But it was what was quick and easy this morning that I could throw together.
Can I have some frosting?
When I'm done. Okay, popping this back in the freezer for about 15 minutes so that the crumb coat can harden. Okay, I just pulled our little crumb coated cake out of the freezer and we're gonna give ourselves about 15 minutes to finish frosting. Any longer than that and this crumb coat will start to melt and stop being a crumb coat anymore. So that's the goal. It shouldn't take that long though on a little cake like this. But sometimes, you know, you can get a little crazy with it. I'm gonna smear it up and down here and then we'll smooth it out around the sides. Honey, I'll explain it to Dad, okay? Frosting covers a multitude of sins here. What, honey?
Hey, can I just stand next to while you're talking?
Sure, baby. What's your favorite kind of cake? What flavor?
Hi, I'm Jen from Thinking Simple.
One struggle I always have with my cakes is getting a flat top. So I'm
Thinking Simple.
trying to push as much frosting as I can up so that I have something to work with when I smooth out the top.
Can I do some spreading? I think I'm doing it.
Yeah, can you just spread the top? Don't go down on the sides, okay? Okay, let's try to fix this. So we do still have that crumb coat, that base layer that's pretty solid here that is helping give me some structure to go back to.
Hey, Mom.
For the most part.
Can we put some apple pieces on it?
No, not this time.
Wait. Buddy. Buddy. No, you eat all it. No, I'm not.
All right, no more.
Mama.
All right, I'm gonna give it one more
My vision.
scrape around the sides.
I can't sit on this. Mama, I sit on this.
What, honey?
No, I sit on this.
I'm just gonna fill in the holes. Okay, so that's another layer of frosting on. It's not perfect as you can see, but that's okay. I'm gonna pop it back in the fridge for about 10 minutes, and if I have a chance, I'll smooth up those edges, but honestly, I probably won't. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that I'm doing it. There it is. Here's a cake.